Hello Internet, and welcome to this edition of Vlogs and History. So the division, in a modern military history sense, has two common structures. Both are made up of brigades. Now a brigade is made of either 2 to 3 regiments or possibly 3 to 5 battalions, depends upon the nation, could be a mix of two. That's a whole nother issue to get into. But there are two common formations that take those brigades and turn them into divisions. The first is the binary concept, which you have two brigades in your division. This is not necessarily, but inherently a smaller size of division. In the lead up to the Second World War, the Italians went for this. Because the division's lighter, it's easier to move around, you can move it on the strategic level faster, at least in theory, because there's less to move around. The other concept is the Trinary division, which takes three brigades. Could also be called a triangle division. This is larger, gives you essentially more combat power per division. And the Italians changed over from this to this. And this is actually one of the reasons the Italians had issues with the quality of their officers and their army in the Second World War. Because if you take two trinary divisions and turn them you could turn them into three binary divisions. Downside of that is you now need more officers to command and lead those divisions, because there's more of them. So in terms of the number of officers you have in your army, you would need more for a binary division. And if your military training system can only produce so many officers, you might not necessarily want a binary division. Now, which structure is actually better is still debated, and there's no truly a right answer. It depends upon what your nation is and what you want your army to do. But there is, in fact, another way. And this was used by the U.S. Army precisely because of that numbers of officers issue in the First World War. And that is the U.S. Army called the Square Division. This is made up of 4 brigades. Now they said this gave division more mass and combat power that could stay in a fight in the World War I trench grind longer. It also reduced the number of divisional commanders you needed. Because prior to entry in the World War I, the largest army formation was the regiment, which is a component of the brigades. So there weren't a whole lot of generals in the United States Army. So they didn't really have the officers for the trinary divisions, let alone the binary. So those are the common divisional structures. And of these, again, smallest to largest is the binary is inherently the smallest, but depending upon the size of the brigades, it could actually be quite large. You have the Trinary division, which is inherently larger, and the square division, which is even larger. But this actually starts to become cumbersome, which is why no one really uses square divisions. Its use was entirely situational to the First World War and the United States Army's unique problems of having to go from what was a very small army to a very, very big army in less than a year. Unique problems resulted in a unique solution. As for the size of the division, brigades can run from like 3 to 5, possibly 6,000. Divisions tend to lowball at just over 10. And by 10 I mean 10,000. So, the reason I didn't pick anything for you this week is because life got in the way in the last couple weeks. I haven't picked anything consistently, so rather than you watch me struggle and fail at something, I just thought I would use logs to provide a visualization of divisional structures. So until next time, subscribe if you want, and most importantly, have a nice day.